what I do is February से start हुआ है. So now from November, I go from 1st November to 30th November.
Okay.
So this pipeline की series जो 1st November with the in connection with that, so that by every month I can do that.
Yes.
Yesterday it was about lungs.
Right. Wonderful. Really great. Really great. Very grateful that this body of work appeared.
Yeah, yeah. It's good that Anushri has done very good job.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you, Anushri.
Now again in February, March के जो भी हुए हैं, that also should come immediately.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thanks.
So I have the children outside, it's their dinner time, but I still chose to do the beyond meditation from here rather than the office. So it's as long as it's not bothering you, it's not bothering me.
Mynoo, you are wearing a sari?
I'm not actually, I'm wearing a dupatta and a salwar.
Oh, okay. You're looking beautiful.
Thank you. I washed my hair, so the hair is still drying. Okay, so let's begin our Ask Me Anything. I mean, it's been this particular, we've just come through Holi, which is our festival of color. It's also the evening before Holi is also the full moon. And this particular one was, it's a very powerful full moon in the scheme of what the divine plan is from 2020 all the way to 2026. It's literally like, the reality of the kind of world we experience now. When we do our beyond meditation, where there is a neutralization of conflict that takes place, that up-leveling, that realization that there is another way, should we choose to live that way, it's as if the penny is dropping for humans around the world. So that is what was enabled by this particular full moon. It had that particular illuminating energy. So just be mindful of what you might be going through, but also people around you as the penny drops, because some people will react like it can't be so easy, because they've bought into the idea of struggle, or bought into the idea of you have to battle your way through, but the penny will drop that you actually don't. Because that is what has like a wave, it has swept through all of the cells of all organisms that make up this planet, and humans being are included in that. So I feel very very pleasant and feel very blessed to be here living at this time. So we're going to begin our Ask Me Anything. And since Yanni, you've had your hand up first, and Meena ji, you've sent some questions, which are very interesting questions. So I'm looking forward to addressing them. So over to you, Anushri. I will.
Okay. Yanni, can you please turn on your camera? Yeah.
Right. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Thank you, Mynoo. It's snowing here. I don't know if you can see it.
Yeah, I can see it on the flickers of your hair.
Okay. Thank you for the illumination for the full moon energy and for Holi as well. I have had eczema since I was a child. I was wondering, is there a way for me to heal myself from it? And I seem to have this yo-yo effect with food, eating food I shouldn't eat at the wrong times, and I know it, and there's this yo-yo aspect which is tied into the eczema. So I wanted to know, please, if there's any what can be done.
So any skin condition, occurs as an act of rebellion, but from, in terms of emotionally. And physically, skin becomes the organ in which the problem shows up when your other excretion organs are bunged up. Okay. However, it's worth examining the act of rebellion that you might have bought into at some point. So it is like in your face act of rebellion, it's very visible act of rebellion. It's at the surface, but the root cause of the act of rebellion is the one that you are meant to actually release. And literally, you just write down everything that you still feel rebellious about, everything that you still believe is so true that you can't just let go of it. Don't let go of it. In my world, actually, it isn't about letting go. It really is about letting it be. And you presencing yourself in your presence in the face of it. When you attempt to let go of something, it's so much harder. But if you simply just let it be, and then there's a collaborative coexistence that takes place, after a while, it doesn't bother you. But if you let go, then there is something that remains behind, which could be that I really wish I had done this before I let it go. That's my last act of exercising myself, or whatever it might be. Or it could be, I really wish I had said all of this before I let it go. Now I have to live with this, So I just go into, don't worry about it. If there is something, don't worry about letting go. Just let it be. Just let it be. It will dissipate by itself. As long as you remain in a space where you're constantly harmonizing the human form and the soul presence and doing whatever you can to uplevel your vibrations. Sometimes you have to, just because you've held it for so long, the act of rebellion and the root cause of it, that there'll be a cellular level presence of whatever it is that caused it. So that is worth writing down, putting a stop to, and then applying the energy of the elements: fire, water, air, and earth. So that whatever it is that you've written, you put a stop to, you applied fire, it destroys, it transmutates it into a new state, which is much more about unleashing your flow. With water added to the ashes, you are washing away the debris and bringing flow. With air, as you're writing it, you're using the air element, it's blowing away the clutter and bringing focus to what it is that you do want. Anchoring this mixture of ash and water into the earth, you're actually anchoring the your ability to be unleashed and flow. So you're putting a stake in the ground. So that is worth doing. So look at that. Physiologically, let's look at that part. How do you deal with this? Diet certainly helps, certainly helps. What I'm picking up is you have a little bit of an odd way in which, and it's not odd because most people do this, and I did this also until I got educated otherwise. You eat fruit at any time. You don't, there isn't any, and you mix it also. Not just the fruit itself, but you might have it as a dessert, or you might have it with, you have fruit and then you have cooked breakfast. So it's like fruit mixed with cooked stuff. That is something that is going on. I'm actually not picking up that much of a sweet tooth, though you take it sometimes just as a way of rushing in and, getting a kickstart or something like that. So you can just drop the sugar part in that form. But I'm picking up fruit is the main issue. Now, fruit is only to be eaten by itself and to be consumed before 12 noon. And no more fruit after 12 noon. And you don't have anything with fruit. You just have fruit by itself, about 4 types of fruit. Okay. And how much fruit you have is about 10 times in your body weight, 10 times your body weight in grams. So if your body weight is 70, you would have 700 grams of it. So it feels like a lot. And when you're weighing 700 grams, you're weighing the cut up fruit that you're about to eat. Okay. Now, what fruit does is when you eat it like this, there's a particular way in which fruit is digested, which is different than other types of foods. And as a result of that, there are certain enzymes that get released, and also the fiber that is left over from the fruit, combined with these enzymes, cleans up that area where your stomach joins the through the duodenum joins the small intestine. So it cleans up the duodenum, and it actually becomes like a toilet brush that is cleaning out very gently the villi that line up the small intestine. So your large intestine, which is where absorption takes place, the inside of the large intestine is meant to be similar to the inside of your mouth, that clean, that clear. It isn't always like that. All right. However, that's how it's meant to be. The inside of the small intestine has lots and lots and lots of fine hair called villi. And in the movement of the villi, the way digestive enzymes are released, there is digestion of certain types of foods that takes place there. Fruits certainly are, where a big part of the digestion happens in the small intestine. So what gets released from the small intestine are the nutrients from the fruit and whatever requires to be excreted, which also has the potency to actually remove plaque from the colon. But when you mix fruit with something else, it actually often doesn't get digested, or the other food doesn't get digested, the fruit gets digested. So there's putrefaction that starts to happen in the stomach. And then your entire system is like, flustered with what to do with that putrefaction. So I'm actually picking up that this change in your habit of eating will make a huge difference. The other thing that I have learned, remember, I'm also a student in this. The other thing I've learned is that, when you have, for example, fruit, you have less than 10 times your body weight in grams, then it is food, and which is okay, it's fine. But when you have more, 10 times, at least 10 times or more than that, it becomes medicine. And it starts to address those areas that it is most effective at addressing. The health of the small intestine and your entire digestive tract is a very important aspect of the work that fruit does in terms of being a medicine. So that's what I would like to share with you.
Thank you,
To
Mynoo.
both the work, right? The emotional work as well as this shift.
Thank you. The cellular root cause, is that for me to reflect on what that is and write it down? Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. The rebellion was very much rang true, so thank you.
Yeah, definitely. Write down whatever still remains that you wish to put a stop to, and just put a stop to it and let it go. The other thing I would request you to do is have a go at having your last meal before sunset. So by 6 p.m., I know sunset in the winters is like 3 p.m., which is a little bit difficult. But 5 p.m. maybe, or 6 p.m. at the most.
Okay, thank you. Yeah. For the fruit, can I have it with, say, oats? If I have oats in the morning, can I have the dried fruit? Not
No.
Dried fruit with nuts just by itself?
No cooked stuff. Dried fruit,
no,
you will not be able to have 10 times your body weight.
Oh, no, for sure. Yeah.
No, so my request is don't.
Okay. So only, I mean to say, so for instance, when I'm at work, when I'm at home, I can almost do anything I want to. But when I'm at work, I tend to
take it with you.
Usually have. Okay.
Take the chopped up fruit with you.
Okay, 10 times the weight.
Body weight in grams.
Yeah, by the way, grams. Okay, fresh.
I know it's a lot,
Smoothies?
but I just feel that cleaning out of your small intestine will make a big difference. Small intestines is really hard to clean out.
Thank you. What about smoothies?
You can have
Are
smoothies.
they okay or?
Yeah, you can. Yeah. But what will be the base? Water?
As in ones that I buy in supermarket, right?
No.
I mean to say, what about the ones that are all made or you can buy from a shop? No. Okay. It has to be
I mean,
fresh.
you asked me for, you've got a condition and you want some help with it. So like you're supposed to have some medicine.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
giving you medicine that is, you treat it like that. Like if somebody prescribed you some tablets for it, you
Okay.
probably would have it. So this is that, you know?
Okay. Thank you. So every breakfast every morning, fresh cut up fruit.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter what type of fruit, whatever I feel like having.
Whatever you feel like having.
Okay. Thank
A
you.
little squirt of lemon on the fruit is actually very nice.
Okay.
If you can manage it. If you can't, that also is fine, but any type of fruit.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Can I ask a very quick, it just happened to me now, question. I just got paid with work. They paid me more than double than what my timesheet said. Is that just a blessing from the universe, or do I have to go and be honest and admit that?
But it is a blessing from the universe. I want you to just feel into it yourself
Okay.
and see if you want to talk to someone about it. It may be that they've actually given it to you
Okay.
as a bonus or something, you know.
Okay.
So I'm just
That might-
picking up that it's a blessing from the universe.
Thank you.
You
Thank you.
choose to communicate with someone, that's
Uh-huh.
fine. And,
Mhm.
you know, still thank the universe and ask the question, wow, how much better can it get?
Thank you. Perfect. Thank
I
you,
mean,
Mynoo.
you know, I
Thank
had
you
a
for your.
situation like this, Yani, at one point where there was some money that I had to pay. I had a payment plan with the tax department, and it was £10,000 a month. Because I just earned a lot of money the year before, so it was that kind of a payment plan. And one particular month, I didn't have that in my account. So I called the bank to just stop the direct debit, and I called the tax office, and the tax office said, "No, we received the payment. We collected the payment yesterday." And I said, "Okay, you collect all of that 10,000?" They said, "Yes, that's what the standing order said." I said, "Okay." Then I called. Then I was like, "Wow, what happened?" You know. So I did. I couldn't not talk to the bank because it just felt like God knows what has occurred here. I don't want to be surprised later on with an additional £10,000 to find somewhere. So I actually called the bank, and the bank said that they had to investigate. They said, no, there was money in your account. There was a credit that came in of about £18,000, and it's all okay. It's all good. That's about really, I have not put any credit in the bank. Please investigate. So they did. They came back to me and said, yes, it was wrongly credited to my account, but it was the bank's error. So they have taken out the 8,000 that remained, but the 10,000, the bank will take care of it. So it was their error. I felt really relieved having done that myself, because it was important for me to talk to the bank. Now you follow your intuitive guidance, and nonetheless, it is a blessing from the universe. I think you're frozen. Okay, Ani, thank you. Okay.
Okay, Minaji.
Okay, so Meenaji is not able to talk, but you stay here and I'll share your question. The first one was really around International Women's Day, like we celebrate International Women's Day. She hasn't come across that there is anything like this where we celebrate International Men's Day or something about Gender Equality Day or anything like that. So the question really is that why this emphasis on International Women's Day, and surely in this day and age, there should be more of a parity across all genders. Have I got it right? Okay. So the first thing is to understand the origin of International Women's Day. I call it International Women's Day because it truly is celebrated all over the world. It's useful to understand the origin of it. And there was a very good movie that was made which actually captured the origin of this Women's Day that was made. And it was through that movie that I realized how much our ancestral comrades, female comrades, went through to finally get this day recognized as a Women's Day. Because I was also one of these people which is like, why separate us as women? But what women went through all over the world was quite huge. And this was the day where women finally got the right to vote. Whereas they did not have that until that point in time. This happened in England. And then, of course, it cascaded all over the world, this thing that occurred. So that is the origin of it. And so it is a celebration of, really, it's a celebration of standing up for your rights and having the courage to articulate them and ask for them in your strength and not backing down because of external pressures. I mean, there were women who had huge difficulties at home because they were going to join the march, where they were asking for this rights to vote. Many divorces happened. Lots of domestic violence was endured by women. Lots of mud slandering, character slandering that took place. And still, the women kept going. It's not that they didn't have jobs, they did, but they were not paid. They were paid way less than men were. They did not have the right to vote, so they were of no consequence to the governing bodies of nations. So as a result, it didn't matter. They could completely and fully discriminate against women. And the fact that you can do it with one group, it sort of gives you permission to do it with other groups as well. So even though it is International Women's Day, it is, in fact, a celebration of standing up for your rights and asking for it and going all the way and showing up no matter what, not giving in and not giving up, keeping going until exactly what you asked for is delivered. Most of the unions that used to exist at the time, and they still do, they compromise. They arrive at a compromise solution. These women did not arrive at a compromise solution. No, we want the full right to vote, exactly as a man would. They focused themselves. They didn't stay with, equal pay and all of that. They were all things that were highlighted. But the leadership was very crisp, very precise, and it was really about, we want the right to vote. Then we matter to the state. And then we can ask for many other things that also require to be legitimately addressed. Hence, I am a real stand for celebrating this day as a day of standing up for what your rights are. A day where the women recognized they had a voice and spoke up. So energetically, it is actually gender agnostic. It truly is gender agnostic. And it's okay. There is a reason to celebrate it. Just like, Christmas has a particular vibe and Holi is all about rejoicing, as you heard me say. Okay, it's celebrated here as a festival of colors, but the vibe is something that is, nation agnostic. It doesn't matter. Anybody can celebrate it. It brings a smile to everyone's face. Similarly, International Women's Day is like that. And how amazing this year, right? I'm saying it was full moon and it's a very powerful day. Lo and behold, International Women's Day, the time, a day that celebrates standing up for what your right is and asking for it and seeing it through and rejoicing in its achievement. All of that came together, powered by this amazing energy of the full moon. So thank you for asking, but it gave me a chance to explain it more fully. I will dig out. I cannot remember the name of the movie, but let me find that. It's totally worth seeing, and it's all set out in England actually. I didn't realize it wasn't that long ago, really. About 120 years ago or something like that, that this was the case. Women had no right to vote, so they were of no consequence. Now, the second question is, it's a very different type of question. The question that Meenaji's asked is, in India, we have, it stems from the celebration of Holi. And there's a folklore which goes back to Krishna, one of our Indian gods, and his companion, who is regarded as a divine companion of his, Radha, and the many consorts that he engaged with. They rejoice in these colors of Holi. And there is, but Krishna did have a wife. And so the question basically was that, if something like this was occurring in today's day and age, we would be very quick to judge that, how can a married man be going around having someone who is his companion, and, he'll be treated like a Casanova philanderer with all of these consorts, and yet we worship him. For us, he is divine, and he brings forth a very powerful energy. All over the world, he is revered for the Gita. The theory of the karma is originated from him. So the question really was that, just a little bit more clarification on what's going on. In the Indian scriptures, they don't talk about husband-wife. They talk about a consort. So Shiva's consort is Parvati. Vishnu's consort is Lakshmi. Brahma's consort is Saraswati. So it is like, well, that in itself is odd, given how judgmental we become if someone is in some form of a live-in relationship. At least in the East, certainly in India, it is still something that is not necessarily readily accepted. So the question was, give us some clarification on what's happening here, what's the difference, what's going on, and how are we to make sense of such a huge gap in what we do in terms of worship and how we think in terms of judging. Have I got that? Okay. So this planet is a planet which is a playground in relationships and relating. That's what this planet is. Now, because it's a playground, and that's how we see nature show up. You look at animals in the wild. They aren't that fussed about getting married or having an agreement. It is a playground of relating and relationships. They relate to one another. They do whatever they live in their truth, and they do whatever it is that is called of them to be done in the moment. And life carries on. They don't sit there spending time judging each other. They literally enjoy, live, relish in the moment. Human beings have chosen at some point to use their fine intellect to create certain systems and structures, which then goes on to define codes of conducts, which are acceptable, which are not acceptable. And And the judgment and all of that is based on not what is occurring in the moment, but what meaning we give using the lens of judgment and evaluation. There is no reality to whatever it is that we get hoity-toity about, as they would say in England, or get judgmental about. Now, the time where Radha, Krishna, and all of these people existed, and as it does now, there is a whole cohort of humans that are completely in the doom, gloom, what's coming of this world clan. There are those conversations happening as deeply and with great passion and emotion as much as the conversation we have, that we do in terms of we are soul beings having a human experience, and it's a soul and the human all coming together as one, and the miracle lens, and all of the magic that we see, and how much better can it get. We coexist right now, in a world where there's such huge polarities. So Krishna's vibe, originating vibe, was really about anchoring unequivocally the ability of humans to find a way of celebrating and rejoicing in their own worthiness. He is the God of dignity to me, in terms of vibration. So the parts of the world where we hear him celebrating and dancing, and with all of these women who had their own homes and stuff like that, and they would still come out and dance with him. They felt valued, they felt seen, they felt they belonged. There wasn't anything, there was no sexual or sensual innuendos there. There was just true presence of each one's individuality. And what he was doing was he was creating and anchoring a way in which you can simply be, and you are not only seen, but you also see others. So they feel seen and they feel they belong. So all of the Ras Leelas are really about finding the juiciness of coming alive. They are the acts that you can draw inspiration from to come alive. So it is that is what is going on. Now you can misconstrue it, and maybe that's okay, that's your prerogative, but that is not what was intended even at that time. He was anchoring this different perspective, that wherever you are, you can always come out at the sound of a flute and step into your own rhythm and dance away. That coexists at the same time as you feeling very oppressed at home. And because there were so many of them that would come out, then even people at home, at your home, couldn't hold you back. Because there was no sensual sexual innuendos there. There was just a simple, playful celebration of aliveness. Radha and Krishna relationship versus his relationship with his wife, which is quite different. And nobody really remembers his wife that much. She's not been written about so much. Though she is one of my guides, Rukmini. So I know her very well, extremely well. And her role in Krishna's life came about and came into its own after he had finished his Mathura Dwarka time. And he was actually stepping into taking on the helms of a kingdom, and then getting on to do what he ultimately did, which is enabled the war between the good and evil to finally culminate with this powerful learning of a scripture that to this day continues to inform and educate humans. She played a very important role in that level of instructional illumination that could be related to by humans. She was very grounded in this world. She wasn't necessarily about the playful celebration energy. She was much more about delivering what is your soul's calling. She came in as my guide in 2010 and has not left since, which is the time where I had to connect to my soul's calling. And that is her gig, and that was her gig even then, which Krishna in his human form completely delivered. But she was the anchor and the foundation that enabled that to happen. And now once he completed, look, this is where the power of completion happens. Once he completed his time in Dwarka and in Mathura, that time was complete. He moved on. He was with his wife. And life continued that way. He didn't keep going backwards and forward to Radha, then to Rukmani. No, he didn't. Once that was complete, it was complete. The celebration vibe, the vibe of always being able to, at a click of a finger, sound of a flute as he did, people could reconnect to their own dignity and reclaim it for themselves. Once that was anchored sufficiently, it was time for him to move forward. Once he had anchored the amplifying frequency of love with no expectations, unconditional acceptance of all that is, it was time to move on. So he completed and moved on. So he could create something that was necessary from his life in a human form. And Rukmani was an important anchor for that. Thank you for asking. My God, your questions are really, how much better can it get? Beautiful. These are all important reminders.
One small thing also, may I ask?
Yes.
I attended one session yesterday on Ardhanarishwar, and the speaker, Anu Kalraji, she said, Banke Bihari in Mathura, he's also like when they dress him up, it's half, like we only knew about Shiva and Parvati, Ardhanarishwar form. But she said in Banke Bihari also, they dress up in such a way that half dressed as Radha, half dressed as the whole idol of Sri Krishna is done by that, which I did not know. And you have been to Mathura Vrindavan, if you can throw some light on that.
Yes. So Baki Bihari is a name of a temple, and it has a statue. It's made out of a particular stone. It's not a stone, actually. It's a meteor. And therefore, it has a very strong vibe. So when you go there, and my grandfather, my maternal grandfather, the one who was the Ayurvedic doctor, for those of you who've read the B book, he was one of the original trustees with a few others to create it into an actual temple. It's a privately owned and run temple, Bhakya Bihari still. Now, the point here is, the point that is being made with doing it in this way is to recognize that each one of us is whole man and whole woman. We have a different form in certain body parts and body functions because we have a different role to play. But the masculine energy and the feminine energy is actually equal. And at a baseline, it is yin and yang perfectly balanced in each one of us. So you can adopt and be the male in a relationship from time to time, and you can choose to be a female from time to time. There is no need to conform to anything particular because you have it all. So having some of these very powerful forces that are worshipped, people can say whatever, but when you actually dress them like this, and there is something else that people start to accept, even though they don't realize what is actually being communicated is who I am from the deity. That is who you are. If you see I am half man, half woman, so are you. So it is true that they dress him up in such a way that part of it looks like it is a female dress, and then the other one is like a dhoti, which is the male dress that is there. And yet the exclamation that happens in Baki Bihari is Radhe Radhe. which is really acknowledging the female. Quite interesting. There's much more depth to Bhakya Bihari. He's one of my favorites. Like a really very, very wise young soul. And he's not a young soul, actually, very wise, but youthful soul that has taught us so much. There's something that I often talk about, which is, before you take action, when you make a choice, choose understand the consequence and choose the consequence. That was a download that was directly from him to me. So I literally follow it very diligently. But it's, wow, what a realization. If everybody starts to choose the consequence of the action that they're about to take before taking the action, that'll make a huge difference. So anyhow, that's for another time. But thank you for asking. Okay. So Anushri, you'll need to unmute yourself.
Hi, Mynoo. Yes, next question is from Asha ji. Just 1 second. Asha ji, please
Hello,
turn on your
yeah.
camera.
Yeah, hello, Myuniji.
Yes.
The question is about regarding the food. The first one was just now about, you mentioned about the breakfast and fruit and all that. I'm just telling what I'm doing. So I just have when I wake up, I just have a glass of 3/4 cup of milk with salt, piprimol, and some medicine in it. Then I have about 1.5 cup of tea with 1 kakra or something. And fruits, I am not fond of fruits. The way you have mentioned, I wanted to know before 12 o'clock if I have to take the fruit. That means after having this, what I told you, can I have fruit before 12?
No, you have only fruit before you eat any cooked food.
Okay.
And there has to be 2 hours between fruit and your food.
So the first thing is the fruit, and then after 2 hours, whatever I want to have.
Yeah.
I like to cultivate that taste.
Yeah.
For me, it is very difficult.
So it's okay. Listen, you follow your intuition. Whatever it is that you're getting, you follow that.
Normally, I take fruit at about 10:30 or so.
Yeah. I mean, as long as you haven't eaten anything else that is cooked, that's the key thing. When you start your cooked food, then no fruit.
Oh, then no fruit. Then when to eat fruits?
Only in the morning.
Only in the morning.
Yeah.
I'll try
And you
my
must have
best.
2 hours after you've eaten the fruit for it to actually do the full work.
Okay. So which fruit you recommend?
It's a combination of 4, whichever you like. It's up to you.
So now the mango season is there,
Great, have it.
but I have a borderline diabetes.
Makes no difference whatsoever.
I can have a mango in the morning.
Yeah,
Then
yeah.
after 2 hours, I can have a cup of tea.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I'll try to do that.
Always follow your intuition. That's my biggest input here. And at some point, I will really share the whole regimen, but I'm still work in progress on that.
Second question was, in the morning, I mean, whatever I'm doing is fine, but so many times happens, I just get bored. 9:30, 10 only. And today I was thinking that to read or to listen to satsang or to do meditation, why am I doing? Is it to kill my time or actually it's a necessity for me? Because
like I said to you, certainly you don't need to read anything anymore for a while. You can simply be, and listen is good. Start going to a next layer, so it may be something that you've heard already, or maybe a satsang. Just ask, okay, you're hearing it. Ask what is actually being communicated here. what is actually being communicated here. It's a different response that you will get. And similarly, I mean, you live in such a beautiful place, you can, allocate some time to spend with the ocean. Because ocean is a carrier of lots of messages. It's pretty amazing what the ocean brings forth. If you were to say, okay, I'm actually here in a satsang with the ocean, and I'm actually going to just receive whatever it is that the ocean wishes to communicate with me. Doesn't matter that for a few days you get nothing. You just enjoy the ocean breeze and the ocean waves. And you never know, it may start communicating. Prerna, who some of you have seen here, I used to say this to her, like it's your brother, ocean. So there's a lot that it wishes to communicate with you. Just be with it and see what shows up. And then she would go for a walk to the ocean. And then suddenly one day it was like, whoa, yes, I'm getting it. So you can take the oceans one day, the birds another day, some of the trees. You can go tree at a time. It's very special to simply just focus and connect with all life forms at a vibrational level.
That is what you had told me last time. So I started doing it. But then I found that I'm only talking. I can't keep quiet. I'm just talking all my emotions.
It's
How
okay.
lovely you are.
Okay, right now, that is what is occurring because there is so much for you to share. So you're sharing it, and you will start receiving as well. Give yourselves permission, receive whatever responses come, and you will see the balance will start to shift.
So any time of the day I can do it.
Anytime. I'm just saying that whenever you have the boredom factor, bring about these sort of things, and it'll elevate you quite beautifully.
Yeah, I understand. Thank you, Mynoo.
Okay.
Hi, Justin. Please start on your camera if you have any question.
Great, thank you. So I'm just completing this Costa Rica chapter, and it's been super delightful, and getting ready to head back to Boulder and sell my truck, and then recalibrate energy and direction, and probably spend April somewhere else. And I'm just curious, it seems like there's both in your responses to all my questions the last 3 weeks, but also in my field when I'm just sitting with things, it feels like there's either something missing or something yet to be revealed or something yet to be focused on. And I'm just curious, like, is it just premature for for clarity to click, or is there something that wants to be done to tune into clarity?
No, you're on the right path. I think it's a matter of being in a particular environment. So I think Boulder certainly has lots of nature spirits, creates a container of safety. So see what emerges there.
Interesting. Okay. And I'm curious, in my health journey, it feels quite important to me to really get a handle on this and focus on it and work it and make it a project. And I'm curious what my thinking is that I would explore, like revise a write-up and share it with 3 or 4 naturopaths, and see what resonates and what clicks. And I'm curious about the place you've been spending time as a potential fit for me to explore.
It can be. I'll come back to you the moment I get it. Yes, I've thought about it a few times about you, and it's very likely there's another friend of mine from London who really requires some support to such an extent that he's required to really be. I think he'll benefit from actually being there for a month. But I don't want to leave him on his own. He's never been to India before, so I'm going to be there for a lot of that month. So I'm like, when I originally looked at, are there other people that I should invite to be at that? Your name did come up, but I did not get permission to invite you yet. So maybe there is something else that you will complete and get to a different vantage
Got
point.
it. Yeah. Yeah. I think for
people
me,
only go there to come there when I'm there, because there'll be there are certain other things that require to be done also.
Mhm.
But it's
Yeah.
basically, you have to be prepared for only vegetarian food.
I'm available for anything at this point in life. Do you have a sense of when that might be?
Just get to Boulder.
I mean, for you in that place.
I think it's going to be from the 26th of April.
Mhm.
No, sorry, 26th of March. No,
Yeah.
sorry, what am I saying? 26th of March, correct, yes. So
Yeah.
quite not that far.
Great. Great.
Yeah.
Thank you. Well, maybe you can share the info of that place offline so that I can put it into my process.
Yeah. They don't have a website or anything, just on. I'll share the stuff with you. What you do, what there is lots and lots of videos, but they're all in Hindi of the
Oh yeah.
philosophy this is based on. So I'm like going to talk to my technical guys and say, and I check with the doctor if he's okay for me to do a voiceover recording of what he's saying, but in English.
Mhm. Yeah. Great. And even just a WhatsApp to talk to someone about logistics and tune into the possibilities,
As soon as I get that yes,
Yeah.
it's on, I will.
Got it.
So,
Okay. Great. Living in flow.
yeah. Yes. I'm seriously considering creating a poem wellness here as well in Dubai with that whole methodology,
Mhm.
partnership with them. But it's a comfortable place, but quite a basic place for what we are used to in the West, and yet it's very functional in what it does. The quality of food and all that is really great. So I think it's worth it. Like I said, my sisters and a cousin of mine, my sisters have had several decades of diabetes,
Mm.
very high blood pressure, and I had no idea how big a deal it was. On the second day, come into their room, and they're both sitting on the bed, and they've got beaming smiles year to year. And you go, what happened? What happened? So we've just seen a sugar reading, and it is better than it has ever been with medication, and it's normal. So I'm like, wow. And you had no medicine. Yes.
Amazing.
It's very special to develop that relationship with our bodies, and support it in that way. So thank you for asking. So
Yeah.
we have a small group. I think we are complete for questions today. I will see you in a little while.
I have one question.
Oh, okay. Yes.
Do you have any idea of Jiva Nadi reading,
No,
which is in Tamil Nadu?
no.
I'll send you the link.
I know about Nadi readings.
No, this is not a Jiva Nadi reading.
I don't know about that.
The name of the person is Vijay Kumar.
No.
Okay, because you remember the lady I told you about, Prema?
Yes.
Now, she had been to this person recently, last week or 10 days before, and he starts telling everything. And that person is in Tamil Nadu, somewhere in Tamil Nadu, and he doesn't eat anything. Just have 1 teaspoon of rice or something, and live on water only. He's still very healthy. He's in different planet. I'll send you the link. You just read it. And she was telling me that she had given a contact number also to phone him, so he can even on just on WhatsApp also he can tell me.
Yeah.
Nadi.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure, so I didn't want to try anything.
No, it's a game, so you can just have fun with it. It's okay. I don't need to do any of that. I see anyway, so what does it matter?
No, this is about all spiritual path. There's nothing to do
I-
with your
everything
day-to-day
everything
life.
across all dimensions is actually visible to us. You know, so whatever you feel like, it's all good. Just it's all good. You're on your path, Ashaji. Whatever decisions you make, choose this. Does this feel like the best for me? If your feeling is yes, just do it. You know,
Thank
you are on the driving seat. So that is all. You're truly blessed.
you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone. So we'll just have one word to complete our session today. My completion word is presence, and two words, presence and delight. Over to you, Lee.
Gratitude and peace.
And you can pass it to
I'll pass it to Justin.
Thank you. Insights and curiosity. Neelam.
Neelam. Unmute yourself. Yes.
Yes, love and peace, both.
And you pass it, Neelam, to
Meenaji.
Meenaji.
Thank you, Neelam Didi. She's my real sister, older sister. Thank you. My words are lot to learn in one life, many dimensions to know, intriguing indeed. And I pass it on Lee Collins.
Lee has been, so you can pass it to Vineet.
Justin Brahma.
Justin, yes.
Justin, yes.
Oh, I went already.
Okay. Yes, you did. Okay. So Vineet. Unmute Vineet. Okay, we dropped out. Anushri.
Mynoo, gratitude. And I pass it to you.
Great. I declare our session complete. Thank you, everyone. I'll see you all in Beyond Meditation in a short while.
No, I have not said any word.
Ashaji, yes.
Yeah. Love.
Thank you. Thank you, Ashaji. Thank you. Bye.